Thank you, light bringers, for coming to witness a new creation of ours. I would do appreciate if you hit the subscription button and stay tuned for more illuminating wisdom. Peace to the gods. Quantum theory state, reality happens when we look at it. If you are reading this, and if we are settling for truism from that statement, form modern quantum science, then the subtle act of you deciding to input this information into your biological hardware system, known as the brain, has shifted your individual potential reality. You find the same concept in more poetic form in the Gospel of Matthew. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Matthew 21:22. Similarly, in the Quran, it is not their eyes that are blind, but the hearts and the breasts. Quran, Surah Al-Hajj 22:46. An interesting side note is that it may have been ordained by fate's divine web, or by unforced upon this change myself. Either or, the reality shifted once you choose to perceive this. Reality happens when we look at is a common sensaziale statement. If we compare our biological computer, known as a brain, to that of the poor imitation of a classical computer, which operates as give me an input, I shall give you a similar or equivalent output, all dependent in relation to that input that was given. This in turn is a great comparison on how we as humans are currently operating in this highly computed simulation system we call reality, or how I break the acronym down, realize and TY would mean to you. Reality can have a mode of thought being the realest lie ever, a paradoxical statement for sure. But if you are still reading this, I'm sure you have a keen sense to see the imperfections and flaws in a nearer perfect design we call the universe. Back to the point of this whole reading. Reality is happening when you see it right. But the Quran states, it is not their eyes that are blind, but the hearts and the breasts. Back to the input and output system. Based on what is currently in your system, what you output will be filtered and be skewed for the better or worse on your emotions, thoughts and beliefs, biases and prejudices, knowledge and wisdom, spiritual and moral principles, desires and intentions, physical and mental health. To name a few, sure, there is more to be noted. So yes, reality is happening only when you see it, but seeing doesn't mean a cold function that collapses light and you seen and plain object. It is what you see and what it means to you that curate the possibility of the outcome. For better understanding of what is being spoken about, let me talk to about the quantum experience on Schrodinger's cat. The Schrodinger's cat experiment is a thought experiment in quantum mechanics. It posits a scenario where a cat is placed in a sealed box with a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, a vial of poison, and a hammer. If the Geiger counter detects radiation, meaning the atom has decayed, the hammer breaks the vial and releases the poison, killing the cat. Until the box is opened and observed, the cat is considered to be in a superposition of both alive and dead states simultaneously. This exemplifies the concept that observations affect reality, aligning with the principle in quantum theory, which asserts that the act of measurement collapses the wave function, bringing one potential state into reality while negating the other. Now, let us delve into the scriptures for an illustrative parallel. Consider the story of Peter walking on water in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew 14:25, 31. Yahshua, Jesus, walks on water towards his disciples' boat during a storm, and Peter, filled with faith, steps out onto the water to meet him. As long as Peter keeps his eyes on Yeshua and holds unwavering belief, he walks on water. However, the moment he looks away and lets doubt creep in, he begins to sink. This story can be seen as a metaphor for quantum observation. Peter's reality, walking on water, exists as long as his observation is anchored in faith. His wavering observation, driven by fear and doubt, collapses the potentiality of his miraculous state into one of sinking. Thus, the story underscores the powerful hermetic and quantum notion that consciousness and perception shape reality. In Hermeticism, one principle particularly resonates with this concept, the principle of mentalism. Hermetic teachings state, the all is mind, the universe is mental. This principle suggests that the universe itself is a creation of the mind, and perception shapes reality. The observer's mind and the act of observation play pivotal roles in manifesting the observable universe. Thus, the Schrödinger's cat experiment can be viewed as an allegory for the Hermetic idea that mental faculties and observation fundamentally influence the material world. Thus, it supremely tells me that you will witness your highest definite reality in some lifetime. I did not note this lifetime, but surely you have planted seeds for a grand harvest. Ace.